And here we are at the car festival, Blackberry Festival. I'll just give you a little panorama if I can talk. And coming up right here in front of you is a T-Bird that was customized in the 60s by Darryl Starbird. He's a customizer from the Midwest. He has a big museum back there. Of course, he's in my era, so I don't think he does any cars anymore. But this car was built in the early 60s, and it was quite a sensation. It's candy apple red, of course. That seemed to be a real hot color back in those days. And it's very well done. And it's been restored, and just like it was originally. Next to it is a 57 T-Bird, which happens to be candy apple red too. And I believe these two cars are owned by the same person, someone locally around here. This has white upholstery, and it's perfectly restored except for the color. Now we have a 27 Model T in lime green. You can see the gold tint. It has a gold pearl in it, and a very bright car. Very well done. I like it. And of course the interior has been redone, has bucket seats in it, a wood dashboard. And then we come to this mid-60s Chev pickup. It's very nice in color. I like that color. Interior is all updated. It's a regularly driven machine, and as you can see, the bed is not beat up, but worn a little bit, so they haul stuff with it, which is a good thing. Now we have a rat rod. These are a different genre of hot rod, where guys make a lot of their own things and they put them together. They usually don't paint, or if they do, they distress it to make it look old. They usually have a big motor and short wheelbase, and they get down the road pretty good if you're brave enough to drive one. Next to it is one similar. They don't use much interior. The interior is pretty barren. Sometimes no side panels like this, no headliner, and you sometimes just sit on a cushion on the aluminum bomber seats, as they call them. This is a 66 Corvair. I've always liked Corvairs, and I didn't own one, but my dad owned a 64, and it was a great little car. And I don't know why Ralph Nader said they were such a hazard on the road. That thing handled beautifully. This is nicely done. They have a flat air-cooled 6-cylinder in them. I think it was about 140 horse in this model, and they were just a nice car. Now here's a 58 Chev pickup. I had a 59. It wasn't in this condition. They're virtually the same, identical in looks and everything. This one's done up in a black with red metallic in it, and the camera doesn't pick it up too well, but it really looked nice, and you'd almost call it a black cherry. And it's been done and upholstered and finished off. The bed's beautiful. Wood's been replaced in it. Tailgate's been replaced with a big Chev emblem instead of the word Chevrolet written across the back, embossed in the back. Next to it is a Mustang 2, and these didn't go over too well when they were produced by Ford. They thought they had a better idea, and they had a better idea with the original Mustang, and eventually went back to that shape in the newer ones. This is powered by a small block Ford. Probably gets down the road real good. You don't see many of them around. Then your traditional 32 Ford Roadster, fenderless, small block Chev in it. The interior is gorgeous in this thing. It's this lipstick red, kind of an orangey red. Done very well. I like it. Around back, they put 50 Pontiac taillight bezels and lenses, and with a blue dot in the middle, and that was a popular modification. They fit the car real well. And now here's a 41 Chev. I brought this into the video because I just happened to be born in 1941, and so these are kind of cars that are the same age as I am. It's done really good. Redone interior, instrument panel's been redone. Very little modification to the outside, other than paint and striping, and the deck lid's been shaved. Still has the original type taillights in it, and DeSoto bumpers. This is a 55 Ford. I remember these from my early high school days. This one's done nicely. The side trim was outstanding on them because it provided a two-tone opportunity, which they used a lot in the mid-50s. This little bug here decided he liked the paint too. Or maybe it's a she, I don't know. I pointed at her there, and she flew away. The interior is completely redone. Modern bucket seats in it. This car would have had a bench seat in it. The side panels are kind of duplicating the outside side spear on it. The taillights have been modified. I think the centers of those taillights are out of an Oldsmobile. Now here's another 41, but this is a Ford, and it's in a bright pearl tangerine. Has a neat dashboard, which I always liked. Straight bar gauges all in there. And slightly customized, and except for the color, it's very stock. Now we take the back side of the 57 T-Bird and the custom T-Bird there. Now here's an oddball. This is a Canadian Meteor. The Canucks used Ford bodies and then dressed them in Mercury, like a Mercury grill, and hubcaps and insignias. So basically it's a Ford they called a Meteor in Canada, and it's completely resurrected. I mean, a Woody to survive this long is amazing. And for them, I know they rebuilt the wood probably, but it looks quite good, and it looks a lot different than a 50 Ford. tires, done again with bucket seats and reupholstered. Now here's a 49 Plymouth business coupe. Plymouth and Dodge made these things up until I think 1952, and then they discontinued them. But they had a huge trunk in them because they had no back seat, and this is powered by the stock Flathead 6. I've seen a lot of nice ones that have been hot rodded or street rodded, and they're really nice. This is a 52 Hudson. It's powered by the Twin H Power 6-cylinder. Back in the day, in the 50s, they dominated NASCAR. They were low, wide, and handled, I guess, reasonably well. And it's the only car I can remember that you had to step down into to get in them. Actually step down, the side rails were up higher than the floorboards. Has lots of glitter on it, as you can see. Look at the dashboard. And these things were so wide you could fit four abreast in them. And I'm not kidding. There's enough room for 4 people in each of those seats. Here's a 40 Ford pickup, done in a maroon. Now these are pretty much nice day street drivers. They're not particularly show cars, although the paint on them is a lot of work done. But these guys like to drive them on nice days and show them off at the show and shines. Now this particular Ford pickup's 56, and I know a lot about this one because I once owned it. It's still essentially the same out exterior wise. The new owner has put upholstery in it, new upholstery, and modified the dashboard a little bit with instrumentation. It still has the wood rim steering wheel that I had on it, which made me chuckle a little bit. That hand you see is the owner explaining this stuff to me as I videotape. And the best thing he did was he put a small block Ford in it. When I had it, it was powered by a Chevrolet V8. And of course you get a little razzing because you have a Chev and a Ford. Well, now it's proper. It's got a Ford and a Ford. And that tilt hood, I juggled that thing around to make it fit, and it fits good now. And he even got the license plates I once owned. But I'm glad to see it. I'm glad it's not in my ex-wife's garage hiding away. It's out being worked on and driven, which is a great deal. Now this is what it's all about: blackberry cobbler and ice cream.